Welcome to the Real Crime Diary, Daily Dose of Crime. Today, we delve into a shocking case that's made its way to the Supreme Court. What happens when a death row inmate and a state attorney general join forces to challenge a conviction? It's a twist that's left many scratching their heads and raises serious questions about our justice system. Buckle up, because this story is about to take us on a wild ride through the murky waters of criminal justice, political maneuvering, and the relentless pursuit of truth. Richard Glossop's name has been making headlines lately, but not for the reasons you might expect. Convicted of murder back in 1997, Glossop is now claiming that prosecutors withheld crucial evidence during his trial. But here's where things get interesting. Oklahoma's new Attorney General is actually supporting Glossop's claim. It's a surprising twist that's raised eyebrows across the legal community. But as we dig deeper into this case, we have to ask ourselves, is there more to this story than meets the eye? The answer, as we'll soon discover, is a resounding yes. On January 7, 1997, the quiet city of Oklahoma City was rocked by a grisly discovery. Barry Van Treese, owner of a local motel, was found dead in one of his own rooms. As investigators dug deeper, their attention quickly focused on Richard Glossop, the motel's manager. Glossop had been allowing the motel to fall into disrepair, and there were suspicions of embezzlement. Van Treese had reportedly planned to confront Glossop about these issues just a day before his disappearance. But according to Glossop, that confrontation never happened. As the investigation unfolded, a shocking twist emerged. Justin Sneed, a friend of Glossop's, confessed to the brutal murder. But here's where it gets even more chilling. Sneed claimed that Glossop had hired him to carry out the killing. This revelation set the stage for a complex legal battle that would span decades and eventually reach the highest court in the land. Richard Glossop's journey through the justice system has been a long and winding road. He was first convicted in 1998 for the murder of Barry Van Treese. However, this conviction was overturned due to ineffective assistance of counsel. In 2004, Glossop faced a second trial, where he was once again found guilty and sentenced to death. Over the years, Glossop's case has been scrutinized by multiple courts. Time and time again, his conviction and death sentence were upheld. It seemed like all avenues of appeal had been exhausted. So what changed? What brought this decades-old case back into the spotlight? The answer lies in a surprising turn of events that no one saw coming. A new player entered the scene, shaking up the long-held narrative surrounding Glossop's guilt. In a surprising turn of events, 2023 saw a significant shift in the Glossop case. Newly elected Oklahoma Attorney General Gentner Drummond decided to take a fresh look at the decades-old conviction. Drummond commissioned what he called an independent review of Glossop's case. This review, led by Drummond's longtime friend and political supporter Rex Duncan, claimed to uncover new evidence. The bombshell allegation? That prosecutors had withheld crucial information about Justin Sneed's psychiatric care during the original trial. This sudden revelation would set the stage for an unexpected alliance between Glossop and the state, challenging the very conviction Oklahoma had defended for years. At the heart of this case lies a shocking claim that prosecutors withheld crucial evidence about Justin Sneed's mental health. Glossop and the Oklahoma Attorney General assert that information about Sneed's lithium use and psychiatric care was kept from the defense. On the surface, it's a bombshell allegation that could overturn a decades-old conviction. But as we dig deeper, the story takes an unexpected turn. The alleged smoking gun? Handwritten notes from the prosecutor's interview with Sneed. These notes, we're told, prove that the prosecution knew about Sneed's psychiatric treatment and failed to disclose it. It's a claim that, if true, could be a textbook Brady violation, a serious breach of legal ethics. But here's where things get interesting. A closer examination of these notes paints a very different picture. What if these scribbled words don't represent the prosecution's secret knowledge, but instead record something else entirely? Could these notes actually be documenting questions that Glossop's own defense team had asked Sneed? As we peel back the layers of this case, we're left wondering, is this alleged Brady violation nothing more than a mirage? And if so, how did it make its way to the highest court in the land? Now, let's dive deeper into the heart of this case, the prosecutor's notes that are at the center of this controversy. When we take a closer look at these notes, a very different picture emerges from what Glossop and the Attorney General are claiming. The notes taken by prosecutors Connie Smotherman and Gary Ackley during their interview with Justin Sneed aren't actually recording new information about Sneed's mental health or medication. Instead, they're documenting Sneed's recollection of questions that Glossop's own defense team had asked him earlier. This is crucial. The very evidence that Glossop claims was withheld from him was, in fact, information originating from his own legal team. The notes show phrases like "on lithium" and "Dr. Trumpet," but these aren't statements of fact. They're questions, indicated by the question marks, that Sneed says Glossop's lawyers had asked him. This context completely flips the script on the alleged Brady violation. If the prosecutors were simply writing down what Sneed told them about his interactions with Glossop's defense, how could this possibly be information withheld from the defense? It's a perplexing contradiction that raises serious questions about the validity of this entire Supreme Court case. Now, let's dive into a crucial piece of evidence that's been largely overlooked in this case: Ackley's notes. While the Attorney General has focused heavily on one prosecutor's notes, they've conveniently ignored another set that provides critical context. Ackley, who was present during the same interview as Smotherman, took his own notes. These notes interlock with Smotherman's and paint a very different picture from what the AG is claiming. They clearly show that the information about lithium and a doctor wasn't some hidden evidence, but rather questions that Glossop's own defense team had asked Sneed. So why were these notes omitted from the AG's presentation? It's a question that raises serious concerns about the integrity of their claim. Ackley's notes explicitly state that two women representing Glossop, an investigator and an attorney, visited Sneed and asked him about lithium. This omission isn't just a minor oversight. It completely undermines the alleged Brady violation. If the prosecutors were simply recording questions that Glossop's own team had asked, how could this possibly be evidence withheld from the defense? The selective presentation of evidence here is troubling. It suggests that rather than seeking the truth, there may be an attempt to construct a narrative that fits a predetermined conclusion. And that's not how our justice system is supposed to work. Now here's where things get really interesting. Records actually confirm that Glossop's defense team did visit Justin Sneed in prison. This isn't just speculation, it's documented fact. On April 16, 2001, Glossop's post-conviction attorney Wendy Hobbs, along with an investigator named Lisa Cooper, met with Sneed behind bars. During this meeting, Hobbs informed Sneed that Glossop might be getting a new trial and that Sneed could be called to testify again. They even had Sneed sign releases for various records: juvenile, jail, prison, and criminal. This visit lines up perfectly with what we see in the prosecutor's notes. Remember those references to two women, one possibly an investigator? It all fits. This isn't just a coincidence, it's a crucial piece of the puzzle. What does this mean for the case? Well, it strongly supports the interpretation that the prosecutor's notes were simply recording Sneed's account of the questions Glossop's own defense team had asked him. They weren't documenting some secret information about Sneed's medical history or psychiatric care. The implications of this case are staggering. If the prosecutor's notes indeed only record information already known to the defense, the entire foundation of this Supreme Court case crumbles. We're left with a chilling possibility that this alleged Brady violation is nothing more than a phantom claim. Think about it. If Glossop's defense team already knew about Sneed's lithium use and psychiatric care, how could the prosecution have withheld this information? It's a question that cuts to the very heart of this case. But the consequences stretch far beyond the courtroom. For Barry Van Treese's family, this case represents yet another twist in a decades-long nightmare. They've endured multiple trials, countless appeals, and now face the prospect of the Supreme Court potentially overturning Glossop's conviction based on what appears to be a misinterpretation of evidence. The emotional toll on the victim's family is immeasurable. They've been denied closure for over 25 years, and this latest development only prolongs their suffering. It raises serious questions about the balance between justice for the accused and justice for the victims. Moreover, this case sets a troubling precedent. If a conviction can be challenged based on such a tenuous claim, what does this mean for other cases? Could we see a flood of similar appeals, each based on reinterpretations of long-settled evidence? As we wrap up today's episode, we're left with troubling questions about the integrity of this case. The alleged Brady violation that brought Glossop v. Oklahoma to the Supreme Court seems to be built on shaky ground. Could this be nothing more than a phantom claim concocted from misinterpreted notes? The implications are staggering, not only for Richard Glossop and the state of Oklahoma, but for the family of Barry Van Treese, who have endured decades of legal battles. This case serves as a stark reminder of the complexities in our justice system and the potential consequences of misinterpreting evidence. What do you think? Could this entire Supreme Court case be based on a simple misunderstanding? Or is there more to the story that we're not seeing? We'd love to hear your thoughts on this perplexing case. Until next time, stay vigilant and keep questioning. There's always more beneath the surface in the world of true crime. Power, Pleasure, and Pain. A study of abuse through time. This book provides a detailed examination of how sexual violence and power dynamics have manifested across different historical periods, from ancient civilizations to the modern era. It explores how figures in positions of power used their influence to manipulate and exploit others, showing that the patterns of abuse we see today have deep historical roots. Many people struggle to grasp why abuse of power, particularly sexual violence, persists in modern society. By connecting historical events with contemporary cases, the book offers crucial insights into why such behaviors remain prevalent. The book analyzes infamous cases such as those of Harvey Weinstein, R. Kelly, and Dominique Pellicotte, drawing parallels between them and historical figures. This section highlights how the systemic abuse seen in recent times is not a new phenomenon, but part of an ongoing cultural issue. Through the lens of these modern examples, readers will gain a better understanding of how institutions, wealth, and power have historically shielded perpetrators from justice, contributing to their ability to continue harming others. The book explores the philosophy of libertarianism, particularly through the works of Marquis de Sade, to explain the disturbing ways in which pleasure, power, and cruelty have been intertwined. This provides readers with a deeper philosophical context to interpret modern-day scandals. Unlike other studies that focus solely on historical or contemporary cases, this book uniquely blends both, offering a full spectrum of how abuse is tied to power dynamics. It stands out by making philosophical connections that help readers understand the deeper societal issues at play.